Learn how genetic weight loss expert Dr. Phyllis Pobee closed her brick and mortar, changed her mindset, and took a bold leap to go fully online. I've got the most amazing physician, triple board certified medical doctor, entrepreneur, owns her own brick and mortar, has a thriving online weight loss business where she helps women master their DNA, possibly even change it so we get the skinny gene, like for real, y'all. I just want you to give an American welcome to the beautiful Canadian, Dr. Phyllis Pobee.
Oh,
Is it Pobee or Pobee?
yeah, exactly.
I want to make it French though, because you're in Canada.
Wow. I'm in the,
I'm sorry.
I love it.
But hey, girl.
Hey, it is so good to be on here chatting with you, Lauren. You are, a force. You know this already, though. Thank you for that warm welcome, that warm introduction.
Yes, girl. We connected. The story is it's still so funny to me on how we connected before we even connected. That's how when the stars are aligned, you're in the right alignment and talking to the right people. But I had the pleasure of meeting Phyllis at the Mindshare Leadership Summit, which is in Arizona, a few weeks ago. And we were at this a part of it is, encouraging and supporting minority practitioners. And we were in a special breakout for that. And in here, she floats in, right, with some sort of Roy G. Biv colored solid dress. I forget if it was, I think it was orange or red. It was something. Some solid power color, right? It was, it's beautiful.
You're so
and
sweet.
She gets up and introduces herself, and I'm looking at her and I said, I know those cheekbones. Wait a minute. I've been cyber stalking her and her advertising for weeks. Oh. And here she is in front of me. And then she's like, wait a minute, I follow you too. And it has just been a love fest of just, girl chat and business growth and, all the things. So today, what we're going to kind of dive into with Dr. Phyllis, she's going through a super cool transition in her business, and I will let her get into that. And I'm sure part of this transition was spawned from some experiences that maybe weren't the best. We all have this idea when we go into business, what it's going to be like. It's going to be, you get facials on Friday. You're off to pick up the kids every day at 2. You actually are never worried about payroll. You're always 6 months in the whole, 6 months saved for the business. That's the way that we float into business, right? And that's why I have this platform, because I want to talk real talk with health business owners who have been through some shit, don't mind talking about they shit, know they shit stink, but actually cleaned it up. Yes. You know what I mean? That was a lot of shits if you were listening with your kids. I'm sorry, okay? But we got to talk real. So, Phyllis, tell us about, your journey. What were some of your rock bottom moments that kind of brought you out? Just go in.
So many rock bottom moments. I think
why does everybody say that?
My biggest one was when I went all into my business before clarifying my offer. And I was running into my line of credit, into a second line of credit. And it was this humbling moment where I had to go back to one of my jobs and be like, can I come back? And that to me, I think that was a fear-based frequency doing that, because I didn't, it was just another 2 months there. And then I had this huge quantum leap and my business took off. But it really was this place where I was feeding into this fear. And then because of that, I wasn't able to convert clients and work with clients in the way that I wanted to. And it just was like this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where your fear becomes the thing that can literally ignite your business down into the ground. So,
yeah. I was going to jump in really quick and say, just to add on to that, you're so right. 2 things that cannot live in the same house, fear and growth.
Yes.
They are mortal enemies. I don't know. And fear can present itself in a lot of different ways. In money mindset stuff. 100%. In lack of confidence about, your product, in, the inability to raise your prices, overworking and not and getting that burned out. That are elements of fear are wrapped up in that. So like kind of like go deeper into that and tell us about your business model too, because I just sprinkled a little glitter on it. I didn't really tell people what you do.
Yeah, so let me go into my business model. Lauren, thank you so much for that introduction. I am board certified in weight loss medicine and family medicine with a special interest in aesthetic medicine. And so what that means is that I work with women to find their inner beauty, outer beauty, get back to them. So we're really just working with women over 30 because I personally had a huge, long weight loss battle. I lost 100 pounds. And it wasn't until that point that I got back to myself and found myself. So that was really the genesis of GeneLean 360, using genetic weight loss to transform my personal life. Lauren, let me tell you, I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. I went into medicine so that I could work that, 9 to 5, get a check, go home. I looked at entrepreneurs like they were crazy, and we are. And I, and I never, expected that would be something that I would be doing, but passion is where it led me, because I had been there, I found something that worked, and I wanted to work with other women that I knew were stuck. Because Lauren, I felt like I had been drowning for years. Finally found like a life raft, got myself out of drowning. I had to go back and save my sisters. Like that's how I feel about GeneLean 360. Like I got to go help people who may otherwise not know about personalized medicine or know that these options are available. So that's what we do at GeneLean 360. We are a 4-month program. It's personalized medicine. You get supplements that are customized in-house. You're also getting a personalized meal plan and a personalized exercise plan along with your genetic test that gives you, which is the story of you. And for a lot of women, it's either confirming things that they've thought in the past. I had one client come to me and was like, I knew I couldn't be vegan. I tried to be vegan for 20 years for this man who she broke up with, thank God. And she knew that she couldn't be vegan. Her health went downhill. She was so inflamed because she was missing the necessary genes and the genetics in order to be a healthy vegan or processed.
A healthy vegan. Wow.
Exactly. So these are things that, you think you want to try a certain way of eating, but it doesn't align with your genetics. So that's our model. And so being able to give that to people, sometimes I become the bottleneck, right? Because I'm the one who is doing the consultation. I'm the one who's providing the service. I'm the one who's customizing your meal. So it could very, very easily lead to burnout. It could very, very easily lead to imposter syndrome, where it's like, I can't help all these women. I heard one person tell me, "You're not Jenny Craig. Like you can't help all these people."
Oh, no.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to help this one woman at a time. And so just reframing, being positive, doing the best work, and adding value. I think a lot of people forget that part, value, where they just are thinking about, oh, I just want to make X amount of money by the end of the year. Are you adding value? Is there something about your business model that's not providing that level of service that you think you're giving? So those are important things that I've learned along the way. And
yeah, no, I love this so much. I think that you are sparking awareness and something super cool. So, I mean, we don't have enough time to talk about it today, but I wonder how many other, DNA-based weight loss experts are going to spawn out of this, because you are sparking just great awareness, and you're doing it with your marketing, which is, and your cheekbones, which is what made me be like, oh my gosh, let me see what she's talking about. But this is not all you do. So I know that you are in the midst of transition, which for many practitioners, business owners, that can be scary. Also, we just talking about where growth and fear, they can never live in the same house. And you were trained to do medicine one way. You were trained to do business kind of one way, with the brick-and-mortar and everything. So tell us about what you have been doing for the past few years, and why the transition? Like, what happened?
Of course. So I trained in family medicine and I was an overweight family medicine doctor. And that to me was, I felt I was living a lie. I thought I was
Yeah.
exercising twice a day. I was eating right according to what I had been trained to do. And I was still overweight. And then it wasn't until, as I mentioned, genetic weight loss came into play for me. And so I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more about weight loss, obesity, and I became board certified in obesity medicine as well. So, working as a family medicine doctor is something that I had been doing for the past couple of years. And it just got to a point where I felt like these 10-minute appointments weren't enough. I felt like I wasn't really helping people to say, well, you have prediabetes. I'll see you in 6 months. And people need more than that. With my clients, I can spend 1 hour with them on the initial consultation, and then we're connecting base all the time. A lot of my clients have my cell phone number. I love that. I love the fact that they're in a restaurant, they can text me and say, Dr. Phyllis, what do you think about this meal? It's really this true lifestyle integration of how to change their life in a permanent way. So it's like permanent weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so that led me to this point. I actually read Benjamin Hardy's book, 10X is easier than 2X. And oh,
2X.
such a
Yeah.
good book. My goodness. I listened to
It's
it
so
on the way
good.
to work. And I literally felt like this man was yelling at me like, girl, when will you stop being dumb? Like when? What point? Because I was working 2X. Like at some point I was working 7 days a week. That was that job I told you I went back to where I was like, no, I got to work Saturdays and Sundays. And I went into this lack-based frequency where I was like, I just got to work more. And then it wasn't to the point where I read that book and I realized, no, you got to pick your zone of excellence and everything else has to fall away. That was the hardest decision to make. It took me like
Mm.
6 months, lots of crying. And
Because what did that mean you had to give up? What did that
my
mean
clinic and
to you?
and my patients, and just knowing that, you know, yes, I'm going to be able to add more value on a grander scale, a greater scale with, thousands of women now if I devote myself completely to GeneLean 360. But I thought about the people that I was already working with and thinking about, you know, it was hard. It was just a hard decision. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew at some point that I wouldn't even be being the physician that I felt that they needed in that role
Mm.
and in that capacity. So I just had to let myself continue to expand. And I've had, some of my patients say, I still want to work with you and in whatever capacity that might be. And I think medicine is changing. I think medicine is going to change towards this personalized approach where we can truly offer our patients a level of care that's not confined by insurance models or
Mm-hmm.
insane overhead, all this bulking, all this paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I made that decision where I was just like, I can't keep doing things the same way, and I haven't looked back. My last date is October 31st, so it's coming up. I
OMG.
believe it.
That's crazy. Like literally, like it's a new chapter, like door
Yeah,
closed, like woof, like
yeah,
lock it, throw away the
yeah.
key. You're gonna be having this home office or like, yeah, so transition, right? So why online? Like who put this in you, this idea in you that, you know what, I'm going to change from a traditional brick and mortar model, which works because, well, I say traditionally speaking,
Yeah,
it works. Like everyone's like looking for a doctor to walk into,
right.
to do, their general wellness and stuff like that. Being found online is not
No.
easy. Like having an online business without that physical address or the benefit of location and zip code, like that organic stuff, that's not the easiest road to toe, to make money immediately. But I know that you didn't go into it blindly. Like, what was your process? So you went into this smartly, without having like years of having to take out the loans and the things you were talking about before.
Yeah. So for me, it was the marketing piece that was like key and crucial. So when I was trying to like prematurely move into this online space, I had to go back to the drawing board and be like, I got to fix my marketing. I got to fix, I need,
Hmm.
I'm doing a disservice.
How are you going to get
Yeah, I'm
business?
I'm doing a disservice if I say I want to help people and then they can't find me. So that's on me. So I got to suck it up I got to get on the social media. I got to make the post. I got to be not afraid to be seen. I mean, the ad that you're talking about where I'm eating pizza in my car was literally a day I bought pizza for my kids. And I was just like, let the people see, like, I eat pizza. And there's a comment on one of the ads, and they're like, she doesn't even take a bite. I was like, girl, this is like my third piece that I'm eating in the car. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say no. You were
I
eating
was,
like it looked like I think there was
girl,
grease like around.
I was really hungry. Like the kids were probably like, "Mom, bring the pizza in the house." So I think it's this idea because we live under this. We shame ourselves, or we think we can't let people see a certain way of eating or being. If we're quote unquote healthy, and that's not the case, right? We can live a normal life. You just need to know what's going on with your genetics. So yeah, so that's how I made that transition. It's just preparation. It's just getting ready, doing the things it was literally the things that I hated the most or the things that I had to do, right? So I don't want to post. I know,
Oh my
like,
God.
and I always get through those moments. It's not like I enjoy posting any more than I did before, but it's that
Hmm.
understanding that sometimes I'll be scrolling.
This is what's
Yeah, and I'll
necessary.
see people post a lot of misinformation, and I feel, well, if I claim to be a physician who cares about people, which I truly am, first do no harm, then it's my responsibility to turn on my camera and say, hey guys, that's not the truth. That's not how it works. And do what I can on my
Yeah.
little podium to spread the word, as uncomfortable as it may be.
You have to be an evangelist for your own business. You have to.
Mhm.
Like I encourage people every single day, you need to do two things. One, do something to help your business make money. That's a wide variety of things between an email, a post, or texting a friend or whatever, right? So just one thing a day. A lot of people don't think about
Yeah.
that. The second thing is to verbally say out of your mouth an intention or something positive about your business, just as much as you tell your kids, bye, love you. The things that we cherish the most, like our business is a child of ours as well. And we don't ever like just say, you know what, GeneLean 360, you're going to have a great day today.
That is so good, Lauren. Honestly,
Yeah.
GeneLean 360 is my baby. I want to get like a little tattoo of her on my ankle, because I was praying in an opposite way about her. Like, oh my goodness, it's gonna fail. It's gonna this, and then I was like, let me try something different. First of all, it was the clarity to say this is my specific goal for this
This is what I'm
business.
here to do.
This is what I'm here to do,
Mm-hmm.
and by this date. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say it morning and night, morning and night. And it came true like that, like on the day. So it's so interesting. I know it's a little woo woo, but when it happens to you,
I'm with the
girl,
woo. You
I'm
know
wooing
that.
all day long because I did it the
Let me
next
get
month
my
and the next month.
adjust my
I love
beads.
it. Girl,
Girl.
that woo is for real. If you don't have woo, get some woo. Lauren will give you
It's
some.
like 80% of it. Is that
Like
confidence, that inner belief,
that
that
knowing.
core understanding of what kind of has to
Yeah.
happen.
And once it clicks into you, like it's game over. Like that's gonna happen. So
This is interesting. So now the doors are
yeah.
closing. Are there any emotions surrounding this next few weeks of yours between like moving things out, or I'm not, we don't have to get into if you sold it or anything or not, but transitioning patients and kind of getting your boxes out, like, and closing the light. I'm like, what song is playing,
Girl, you're gonna make
while
me
this is
cry.
happening?
No, I think it's I share a practice with other physicians, so it's not like I have to like sell it or anything like that. Um it is it was an identity shift I had to make where it was like, I'm a family doctor. I do this. I operate like this. And so once that identity shift was made and I made my decision and I started operating as CEO of GeneLean 360 in a real way, like I don't
Hmm.
even really relate to that person that I was. It's so bizarre. Like I have to go into the office tomorrow and I'm just like, how do I do this again? Like it's such I can't even explain it to you because I made that decision and I stepped into that person. And I think that's what allowed me to quantum leap because I fully acted as that a CEO. I fully acted. So when everything fell into place, I was like, yeah, of course it would. So it is sad. It is difficult because of my heart. That was my initial passion, but it's a necessary. And I just
Right.
know that it's just what has to be. So
I know, and it shall be, and it is so. So now that we're fully online, you're already operating, the business is up, GeneLean
Yeah.
exists. Like, we are going to share the details for you to find out more about how to get in touch with Dr. Phyllis. What's it been like launching this online business? Like that, I say that because I just know it ain't easy.
It ain't
So
easy.
tell
It
us
has
what this
been
has been
the
like.
best thing in my entire life. Like I sometimes sit and think like what I wouldn't have met you. Like I wouldn't have met, and for me,
Oh,
it's the people. Like when people are like, enjoy the journey. And at one point I was like, I don't like this journey. It's really
this
hard.
journey sucks. It's
I don't
lonely.
sleep. And because it's you against you, right? And it's these internal things that you're going to keep coming up against yourself. For example, your money blocks. What do you believe about money when you're spending thousands of dollars on ads? What are your beliefs of money? Do you believe money is truly abundant? Do you believe that money's going to come back to you? I've had to
Yes.
work through that. I had to work through my beliefs about myself, about my purpose. And that amount of growth in myself has been incredible. The people that you get to meet, the people on my team, they all work in their zone of excellence. Everyone like loves what they do. What my graphic designer, she does it as a hobby from her corporate job. And now she has a graphic design business. Same with my social media manager.
Oh,
And there were all
love that.
women just working in our zone of excellence. So for me, that's what makes it worth it. And that's when I'm like, oh, I do enjoy this journey. But yeah, girl, it can be scary because sometimes you're just like, oh, if this doesn't pop off, like I don't have like I put myself in a position where I don't have a plan B. Like this is it. So
You can't.
yeah,
As an
this
entrepreneur,
is
you
it.
absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
You can add on income
Yeah.
streams, you can
Mhm.
add income
Yeah.
amplifiers, but you cannot have something else as your crutch. It'll never, ever
That was
work. You
I
can't say,
haven't
oh, I can just go back
yeah.
to practice,
No, exactly.
or just, oh my God,
But we
no.
as physicians, we love a little plan B, like just a little something to hold on to. But so I think those are the things that make it hard when you lean into that fear and doubt. But as soon as you push that aside and you lean into who you are and the essence of what you're bringing to the world and the value, the lives that you're going to change and that you have changed, it's like a game changer. Amazing.
What's your 3-year vision for GeneLean? Because GeneLean she's still a baby. She's not even walking yet. Like we got to get full team. Like you're growing month over month over month.
Yes.
So what's like this 3-year big vision?
Wow. I've never actually said this out loud. So you're putting me on the spot, Lauren.
Oh my gosh. My listeners get to hear vision. And this is so helpful because, practitioners, they get very stuck with thinking big.
Oh,
So you're hearing Dr. Phyllis put her vision out to the universe right now.
in 3 years, we're going to hit 50 million and we're going to have touched 100,000 lives. So that's
I
our
like it.
goal in terms of helping women. Lots of things coming out in the pipeline in terms of how we're going to do that, how we're going to be able to train other people in our methods. So really excited
Nice.
about that coming out. And yeah, that's so like my hands are sweating just saying that.
Oh my
Because I write
God.
it down all the time and just to just come out and say it, I'm like, oh, it's out there now. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. And there's so many models that have done it.
Mhm.
So I can think of several of people who have put their vision out there, went online. Gosh, I can't think of the one woman that her name is escaping me, but she went from like 0 to now 600 million in 5 years.
Whoa.
With a weight loss product. But what was it for her? It was that she niched,
Mm.
in the right zone, had a beautiful product that had an amazing transformation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we were talking before, we were having banter before about how we never, like in business, want to try to sell something or offer something to somebody that we can't provide. And business shouldn't be difficult in that way where you're struggling with results and you're struggling with clients and da 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 da. You should be doing it right? And you've got a very specific transformation. And it is very like clinically, logically based, like scientifically based.
Right.
That type of thinking is how you get to 50, that's 50 million. Like it's not, you can't deny it. It's not, there's no way to like be anti. Yeah, like it works.
Doing it.
So, you're going to pioneer, I think, that this part of the industry. I'm really, really, really excited to see all the cool things that are coming out. Before we get out of here, what is, you talked a lot about intention setting, and, how changing your beliefs and your thought process, how that was a really big part of how you've been able to kind of come out the gutter and really see who you are and what you're meant to be. What are some best practices for practitioners who maybe are struggling with this side of things? Like, they're all into the weeds, and so they're trying to working in the business, but not really working on themselves, so they can become that CEO and founder. What are some best practices that you recommend for a practitioner that wants to get better?
Number one, have a mentor. Like, you cannot see your own bullshit. So have someone who will call you out on it, like Lauren. She would.
Yeah.
She's probably.
I sure will.
She sure will. She probably found you, text you, email you, and someone that can almost repeat your vision back to you. Because there was a point in this year where I was going to open, for whatever reason, another type of business, and my mentor was like, that's not in alignment with what you've been talking about. And of course I know that, but when you're presented with so many different opportunities, you can get confused, or you could just be like, oh, that sounds really good. But that's not, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So bringing you back to that one vision, a mentor is key and crucial. And then also journaling, writing it down, because then it's out there, right? Just like how I said it today, it's out there, and you're making that intentional, and you're making it clear. You're not just saying, I would like more money. You're saying, I would like X amount of dollars by this date. That really helps you to become the type of person that will achieve that goal. Because then now it's like, when you say, I'm buying a red Kia, now you see red Kias everywhere. When you have that intentionality, you are going to be able to find those doors that will take you where you need to be, like that, because now you're clear and you're specific. And then the third thing I would say is, which was really hard for me to do, is enjoy the process. It's not the journey, it's not the destination. When I hit my first 6-figure month, I was like, ooh, this is going to be amazing. No, still had to wake up and still worked and grinded the next day.
Do it.
Boo-hoo. And it was
funny how that works.
I was so underwhelmed, and I really had to realize that it's about the journey. It's really just about the lives that you're touching, the people that you get to work with, the people that you get to meet. And I'm really so blessed. That's what makes me blessed, really, truly.
And it should be fun.
Yes, it is fun.
I say this all the time. If it's not, like, you're in the wrong seat, or you're going on the wrong path. Like, and fun is relative, but like you hit on so many key things that should always be present, while we're in this mindset of growth. And Dr. Phyllis, you have been such a treat. Thank you for letting me snag a little bit of your time. Why don't you just tell everybody how they can follow you or where they can find you?
Yes. So you can head to drphyllispobee.com, or you can go to GeneLean360.com, or follow me on Instagram. So drphyllis.genelean360.com. And I'm sure we'll post some of those links down for you below. Send me any questions that you have. And if you're a physician wanting to know how you can train or do certification in the GeneLean 360 method, reach out and let me know.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. Make sure you head over to microsite.com so you can get the show notes and the links and all the cool stuff, so you can get in touch with Dr. Phyllis. And also, please make sure that you like, share, follow, and subscribe everywhere that podcasts are available. And of course, holla at me on Instagram at I am Lauren Powers. Dr. Phyllis, thank you so much for your time today, y'all. We will see you next week. Peace.
Hi.
Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in to Power Moves Health Marketing Podcast. If you're ready to transform your practice with smarter strategies and cutting-edge tools, I want you to head over to microsite.com to book a strategy session with me and my team. While you're there, check out the show notes for links, resources, and my free Power Moves playbook. Remember, every move you make is a step toward becoming the health business leader you're meant to be. Let's keep building your momentum.